Hello everyone, my name is Anitsu and I'm back with another Digimon video. So today I'm going to be talking about an errata. And this errata kind of slid under the radar even though it's been almost a month old at this point. It's the fact that it was a card that was changed and I didn't even know it was changed until it was brought to my attention. And that card in question is going to be Makomon. So Makomon from BT04 is getting an errata, it has an errata, and what was errated about the card was the fact that the card's attribute and typing were incorrect. So the attribute was identified and the typing was also unidentified in the before, so that's what the card is currently printed as. But in future printings, if there are going to be any, and in the rules text, it is going to be updated so that it is an unknown in its attribute and unknown in its typing. So the big reason why this change needed to happen is because we know in BT05 that there's going to be a lot of new Diaboromon cards, and a lot of those Diaboromons interact with the fact that they want the Digimon to be unidentified. So the fact that Makomon isn't supposed to be unidentified makes it interact with those cards, which is an interaction that isn't supposed to be there, so thus the errata. But this isn't the only card that got an errata. We did get a couple of other erratas before where the Agunimon promo and the Lobomon promo got errated. They both didn't reference this Digimon, which is huge just because it needs to reference this Digimon, otherwise you could use this ability with any Digimon, and that's kind of just broken. So they updated that as well, and there are even a couple of cards that have yet to been updated for BT04, and it is a little bit unfortunate that some of these cards have basically gone unupdated, even though for the most part it really doesn't change that much. It still does change the card, and if they're trying to take Japanese precedence over the English precedence, then the English precedence should be errated to match more in line with what Japan is doing. I just want to take this moment to give a huge shout out to Antinomi, just because he did help me realize a lot of these cards that needed to be errated, and he even gave me the correct fixes so that I can convey this information to you. So thank you again, and thank you to the Digimon Discord 2020 for all of their hard work and everything that they do. So without further ado, we have the cards that currently aren't errated, but are slightly different than what their Japanese counterparts are. So the first card on the list is going to be Mastimon. That is correct. Mastimon does have a slight error to her, and she currently is reading when digivolving, trash one card from the top of both players' security stacks, then play one purple or yellow Digimon card with a level of 4 or less from your trash for free. And what it should be reading is when digivolving, trash one card from the top of both players' security stacks, then you may play a purple or yellow Digimon with a level of 4 or less from your trash for free. So the may basically makes it optional, where you could choose to res something or you couldn't, and in the current English version of the card, it doesn't have the may, and that makes it a mandatory ability, and in Japan, it is not a mandatory ability. So as a result, the card in English were forced to bring out a Digimon, where Japan were not. So the card should be errated to reflect as such. Next up, we have Flameon. So Flameon does have a slight error with him. It really doesn't change anything. It's just more for clarification. But what he's currently reading is on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Then you get to add one Digimon card with hybrid in its form and /or one red tamer among them into your hand, and then you place the remaining cards on the bottom in any order. And what the fixed version should read is the fact that he has an on-play ability where you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you get to add one Digimon card with hybrid in its form and one red tamer card from among them and put it into your hand, and the rest go back to the bottom in any order. So what the English version of the card is doing is the fact that it has this or statement, which means you get to pick either, especially if 2 is revealed, and that's just incorrect. If both are revealed, then you have to take both. If 1 is revealed, then you only get to take 1. So the or changes the card so that you have your different variations and options, and even though it really doesn't change a whole lot, it still gives the player more choices on what they want to do with the cards revealed than initially intended. So as such, Flameon should be errated. And then Strabimon is basically doing the exact same thing with the exact same wording. And then the last card that should be errated to fit better with the Japanese counterpart is Ancient Gurumon. So the current English version of Ancient Gurumon states when attacking once per turn, you may unsuspend up to 2 of your Digimon with Gurumon in its name or hybrid in their forms. And the fixed version should be when attacking once per turn, unsuspend up to 2 of your Digimon with Gurumon in their name or hybrid in their form. So again, it's just a differentiation between may and must, so you are forced to utilize the ability in the Japanese version, and as such, you should be forced to utilize the ability in the English version. So again, just a couple of minor inconsistencies in terms of how the cards are translated, and as such, their effects slightly do something different than what they're supposed to. But the fact that we have a couple of cards that are left unchanged and should be changed to reflect their Japanese counterparts is a little bit on the alarming side. For the most part, they are doing their best to try to translate it as accurately as they possibly can, but errors do happen, and cards like these and these types of errors do slip through the cracks. So hopefully they can eventually fix the cards so that they are more in line with how the card is actually supposed to be played, according to the Japanese versions. But the other inconsistency, on top of just a couple of minor translation issues, is just some of the translations themselves. So we did get shown that Crusadermon is actually going to be retaining the Japanese name of Lord Nightmon, when we have a whole bunch of evidence of it being Crusadermon in basically almost every version it's ever been in English. So it's been Crusadermon in a lot of the video games, and it's been Crusadermon in the anime as well, but the fact that they chose to retain the Japanese name is kind of weird, considering that they chose to keep the English names for Burning Greymon and Kendo Gurumon, and they had to write an entire separate rule just for those, but I guess that those changes are more because of name-based synergies, and this is just a straight-up translation, because we did also keep the Japanese translation of Lilithmon. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with how they're translating names, or why they're choosing to translate certain names and why they're choosing not to translate certain names. It's really just mind-baffling. But regardless, the fact that we're getting Lord Nightmon as Lord Nightmon instead of Crusadermon is just something weird and definitely something interesting that I wanted to point out. So that's all I really have for this video. As always, feel free to tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and down in the description below are different ways that you could support me in the channel. So one of those ways is I do have a TCG Player affiliate link, so whenever you use that affiliate link to buy cards off of tcgplayer.com, then some of the money will go to supporting me in the channel, and on top of which I also do stream over on twitch.tv/Zenitsu, so following and subbing is a good way to support me over on that platform as well. And on top of that, I also do make and sell playmats over on Overcard Gamers on Facebook, so whenever you buy one of my designs through them, then some of that money will also help go to supporting me in the channel. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.